What is up, guys? Core51 here, and time for another video. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm back. I'm going to be back in style, and I'm going to be talking about a conference that just happened, and it's the 2016 PlayStation press conference in Japan. Now, this is sort of like the pre-TGS conference that they do right before the event. So this is like the kind of the kicking off point for TGS, to be honest, and that's exciting. I actually can't wait. There's going to be new announcements for, from TGS's ground floor. You got like different companies like Bandai Namco, you got Koei Tecmo, and all of that jazz. But you know, there are some spots that I'm not going to be pretty much looking at, and that's essentially the mobile games. So that's in the back of my mind. But let's start with the PlayStation conference. The PlayStation conference was, you know, it's been a couple hours. It's been a couple hours since it's happened, so I can kind of give a sort of like off the muscle, off the thing, off the feel, solid 7, solid 8 actually. And you know what? I give it an 8 because they did something that was very similar, which was there was portions of the conference where it's just trailers. There was no breaks in between, and when there were breaks, they were talking about something that was really important and direct to the Japanese demographic. Because this conference, keep in mind, this conference isn't for us. It's not for the Western audience. It's not for America. It's not for Europe. It's not for Australia. It's for Japan. So a lot of these games are directed at the Japanese audience. So let's get straight into it. Final Fantasy 15 was the first thing on stage, and it was a good trailer. Really showed the sort of like the story, like the way that they're portraying the characters. They're very serious. They're talking very like very emotional. So very excited for that. Of course, we know why the reason, like it's been delayed to November 29th, and it's because of the day 1 patch. So the day 1 patch being folded into the master version, which I have to give massive respect to. Because it's not really often that you see a company go out of their way to make sure that there's no patches on release. You know, it's so easy now to just put out a version that just works, and having improvements later. So good on for Hajime Tabata. So Hajime Tabata went on stage and introduced the Final Fantasy 15 Lunar Edition PlayStation 4. Keep in mind, this is the Slim model. Of course, earlier, Slim and the Pro were announced. It was on stage, it showed the price point, it showed all that kind of stuff. And what comes with the Lunar Edition PlayStation 4, which is releasing the same date as Final Fantasy 15 in Japan and the world, is the game, Final Fantasy 15, and Kingsglaive, the movie. So it's a really cool bundle. If you don't have if you wanted to get a PS4, keep in mind the PS4s are region free. There's no region locking whatsoever. Not to my knowledge. It's not like the PS3 where there was certain games that were region locked for some reason, but doesn't seem to be the case with the PS4. So if you're like, let's say in Japan, or you were in, you know, like you want to import this special edition, go ahead. But keep in mind, Final Fantasy 15 will be in Japanese, so you know, make sure you're buying the right one. So let's go back. And so we've got another game that was announced called Saga Scarlet Grace. What do I say about this game? So Saga is... okay, Saga. I know very little about Saga, but I do know that Saga is a very important title in the JRPG genre. I remember it being announced, and then it kind of faded away, then it kind of got brought up again very here and there. So I kind of treat it as something that needs to be respected. So I don't want to talk shit about it. I don't want to talk anything bad about it because I don't know it. But I do know that it's important for some people. So it comes out in Japan on December 15th, 2016. It's coming exclusively to Vita. So this is important to know. The Vita is not dead in Japan. It's dead everywhere else, very clearly. But in Japan, it's still going strong. It's very evident of that. So having Vita exclusives in Japan is not really surprising. Will we get this game in the West? We didn't even get Setsuna on Vita, so who knows at this point. But of course, Setsuna was on PS4 and PC, so that had that sort of thing where it's coming out anyway. So we'll see. So Gundam versus new Gundam game, new versus game. So I have a friend that's played every single Gundam game apparently, and he's the word is skeptical, very skeptical of this game, and I am too, and I wouldn't be saying it unless I had a kind of an example of that, and that's with Street Fighter V. I feel like because this is the first game on PS4, it might be a sort of case where they're putting in a new engine, so that means less time to make different Gundams. It's like the benefits of using the same engine for a lot of things on like PS3, Vita, whatever, for the last Gundam game is that they can put in more characters, right? That's not the case when you make a new game for a new system, and that's what I fear about this game. It's gonna be light on content. It's gonna be light on content. It's like when from what I hear for Civilization 5. When the game came out, it was light on a few things, but then it took expansions to really get to it. So that's why I'm skeptical for the new Civilization game. It looks amazing, but looks are amazing, content's another thing. Longevity's another thing. So I am very skeptical about Gundam Versus. It comes out for PlayStation 4. Doesn't really have a release date. Let me check. It has a release date. So no release date, just a trailer. So next game, Earth Defense Force 5. Mate, dude. Do I even need to say anything about this game? Like, seriously. It's Earth Defense Force. This is a pinnacle. This is like the pinnacle. This is like the top tier of video games. All you do in this game is shoot bugs and aliens with your machine gun, with your military company yelling freaking army songs. It is awesome. It is actually a fun experience with your friends, because all you're doing is just shooting aliens and having a good old time. So, what really surprised me about Earth Defense Force 5, this is the first game that's exclusively on PS4. The other ones were pretty much ports and enhancements of the PlayStation 3 version. This one's the first one built up from the ground up for PS4. It still looks like a PS3 game. And that's good. That's the charm of it. It doesn't have to look amazing. It doesn't have to look anything like that. You know what? It just needs to run... It doesn't even have to run smooth, honestly. It just needs to play good and play fun. Don't need to fix it, you know? So, I'm really excited for this. Earth Defense Force 5. I'm going to keep an eye on it very closely. I really hope the localization team just go crazy and just make the bad voice acting, like, permanent. Because we also know, like, Insect Armageddon didn't have bad voice acting, so it was kind of, it's too serious for its own good. I really hope they keep that sort of tradition alive, and I look forward to that game. I very look forward to it. So, another thing of note from the conference, it was actually a funny story. The English stream, you know, like how for the PlayStation stream, it's broadcasted in Japanese, obviously, but they also have different streams for different languages, and they have a live translator translating them. For the English stream, they had a lady translating it from Japanese to English. And the funny thing is, they showed off trailers being published from, like, I think it was like Square Enix and a few different companies, like Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, and Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 was the one that made me laugh the most. So I actually caught it on thing, or actually, yeah. The Watch Dogs 2 part actually killed the English stream. Yeah, ironically enough, it felt like people hacked the English stream to make it stop at that right moment. And the last thing you see on the stream before it dies out is Ubisoft's logo. So I like everyone in the chat, I thought, oh my god, is this a thing? Is this Ubisoft's prank? Like, is this Ubisoft showing that they can hack the stream and stuff like that? Turns out it was completely false. It was because, I don't know, some technical hiccups with the English stream, because the Japanese stream was going ahead perfectly fine. They were up with the next game already. So, that was pretty funny. Pretty bad. I knocked a point off that because, you know, get your stream up and running, make sure it's working. It's the day of the internet, people complain. And, you know, so next game. That's here. So, we've got Fortune Street. I've heard of this series a lot, but I've never played it. And I know it's really popular in Japan. It's very exciting in Japan. So, PS4 and Vita versions, 2017. It's gonna celebrate the 30th anniversaries of both the Dragon Quest series and the Final Fantasy series. So, really good celebration. Obviously, Fortune Street is a Square Enix thing, so they're handling it themselves. Like it's their game, it's their celebration. So if I knew Japanese and I knew the game systems, I'd give it a shot. But so let's see that. So next thing we have is probably the craziest, surprising stuff from TGS. And that's Koei Tecmo announcing a new Musou game. But not just any Musou game. It's a Koei Tecmo All-Stars Musou game. I'm talking like Ninja Gaiden. I think it's Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. You got Tokiden. You got Atelier Sophie. And you've got like Kasumi from Dead or Alive. You got I can't remember his name. Sun Yun from Dynasty Warriors. Crazy. It's about time. I mean, they've pioneered the Musou games. They make the Musou games, so why not just make one of just a celebration, an All-Stars? You know, it's not like PlayStation All-Stars where that kind of fell through because they tried. But this is really exciting. I think this is a really cool idea, and you know, they've got a trailer, shows off. It looks great, feels great, seems great. There seems to be a Koei Tecmo sort of like unifying story, which is crazy. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on that one. Next we got Neo, having a worldwide release date on February 9th, 2017. February's gonna be so crazy. You got Persona, you got Neo. It's crazy. And the more I hear about this game, the more I actually get really excited for it. Because, like, the addition of, the one thing from the beta that I played was what I noticed immediately was they really listened. This team really listened to fan feedback, and they changed the game, and it changed the game flow, but kept the same core principles. And that's good. Making things a little bit easier, not because of, oh, I'm gonna make the game very easy. I mean, quality of life improvements to really get you in the game and, you know, still show off your skills. So that's fantastic. The one thing I have to bring up from that beta, and it's something that I just like, you know, there's a lot of games like that fall victim to this sort of thing, and it's when a game that's made in Japan, like it's set in Japan or something like that, and they have, or like, you're supposed to be in Japan, right? Let's say Sengoku period, maybe ninjas and samurais and stuff. But the localization team have to bring in English voice actors to act it out, and it's really jarring because it's like they're meant to be Japanese, but they're speaking English. I'm not saying I have to be a purist or anything like that. I'm just saying it's something that I noticed. So when it's done like this, where in Neo, your Geralt stepped off the boat after finishing Witcher 3. Seriously, he just looks like Geralt at this point. Steps off the boat and talks to, I think it's in like after the boss, talks to a Japanese man. And what you expect from a Japanese man, oh, the fact that this game has cutscenes is great. It means, oh, Jesus. And they're great too. The fact that when Geralt, let's call him Will talks to this Japanese man, and the Japanese man responds, not with an English voice actor, but with Japanese voice actors speaking English. So it's very broken, it's very broken, but it's not in a comedic way, it's in a very realistic way. The Japanese person is responding to William in a very realistic way. In the time, not everyone spoke English. So that gets me excited. That little bit just makes me immersed in the game so much more. So I am looking forward to this game. This February can't come any quicker at this point. So gonna keep it on that. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 will release in Japan on January 12th and 24th in the West. So 12 days apart. And I'm excited for this game in particular because I played Birth by Sleep and I really liked Birth by Sleep. So I want to see more of Aqua. So so during the conference, it was the short trailer. But now you can go look at the extended trailer. I highly recommend you watch the extended trailer because it got me excited. It's really exciting. It's really interesting. Also has English dubbing, so Go get on that. Go look at it. Another game. V. What did I do to deserve this, my lord? R. Announced. It's a weird name. But released in Japan in 2017. Now, this game, from what we could see from the trailer, it just looks like sort of like a tower defense game. But I'm hoping it's like multiplayer, because you see one huge lane, and you see like the bad guys on one side, the good guys on one side, right, with the princess and everything. But at the end, you see like a dark overlord dude looking over the table, and it says VR. So what I think is you're just looking over the table with your VR goggles, and you're putting towers in real time with another player who's trying to get you, and you can actually see him and stuff like that. I think that's cool. I think that's a really neat idea. It's really dumb, but I'm excited to see where this goes. Grand Blue Fantasy Project Re-Link by Psy Games and Platinum Games announced for PS4 in 2018. This is good. I like this is... Grand Blue Fantasy is looking super legit. It's actually looking so good. When Psy Games announced that they were making a high-end JRPG, they were not lying. They were actually not lying. They've proved now they are not lying. So, getting a confirmation that it is coming to PS4 and it's coming in 2018 is nice. Also, keep in mind that next year, 2017, we'll get our first glimpse of the world proper, because the game never came out. Grand Blue Fantasy is a mobile game. It never came out in English, so I don't know the world. I don't know anything, but I do know that it's very popular. But we'll get our first sort of look at it with the anime coming out next year. Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation. This is what I'm worried about. There's two ways you can do an anime adaptation with a game that's not even out yet. You can either do what this season of anime has done with Tales of Zestiria the Cross, where they dedicated 2 episodes 2 weeks prior to Berseria, the new Tales of game releasing in Japan, 2 episodes to just the prologue of Berseria. So we get to see Velvet and her, pretty much the beginning of Berseria in anime form. That's a good way of doing it, because that's an advertisement. It's essentially an advertisement. But this, and it's just the prologue, so there's not much that's spoiled in terms of story. There's like the entire game. Like, let's say it's like 1% of the game, and it's like nothing, right? With this Grand Blue Fantasy anime project, I'm scared. I am very scared that they're going to spoil a lot of the story from the beginning, so that when I play the game, I don't have that same sense of, oh, this is a new world, but like I feel like, oh, I've kind of visited. It's like kind of like a New Game Plus in a way. So I'm really worried about that. I'm going to see how they do 12 episodes and see how much they can adapt, because I don't want it to fall short of like, oh, I have to play the game to get this whole story. But at the same time, it's like, but I want a good anime of it too. So it's like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna have like, they have to do like an entire arc, and that's sufficient enough. But time will tell. We'll see. So it comes out 2018 and it looks great. Platinum Games, by the way. Platinum Games. Summer Lessons. So Summer Lessons is a really, really interesting concept of a VR game. It makes sense. It's... how do I describe Summer Lessons? Keep in mind, remember that this conference is directed to the Japanese audience. So, from what Harada has said, Harada is the producer of Tekken, well, the creator of Tekken, I think, director of Tekken. I'm not sure if he's the creator. I think he is. Of Bandai Namco Bandai, whatever you want to do. I'll say Bamco. This game is never coming out. Period. It's not coming out to the West, and he said that very clearly. There's so many things that just would cost too much money. Changing the lip syncing to English would be one of them. Making sure that it's it's such an alien sort of concept outside of Japan. So I can totally see them why they would restrict it. I mean, the best case scenario is they release a English texted version in Asia or something like that. I'm not sure how subtitles would work with the immersion sort of thing. So maybe that's a bit why, I don't know, because like it's VR, like you should be looking around, not staring sort of down below at subtitles when you're wearing VR goggles. So we'll see about that. Summer Lessons is how can I describe it? It's not a dating game. Maybe it is their dating game, but you play the role of a teacher, senpai, as the schoolgirl would be in the video, would call you, and you teaching her stuff as she gets better in lessons. From the trailer, I saw like parts that like you're going out for like dates, a maid cafe where she dresses up as a maid. It gets into a strange territory that I'm not quite sure where they would go, but it's a PS4 game, so it's definitely not anything rude because, you know, Sony's restrictions and stuff. But it's an interesting concept that's gonna sell like hotcakes in Japan. Like, period. It's gonna sell heaps. It's a thing that's dedicated to that fan base, that otaku fan base. So yeah, I can't really knock on it, but I definitely can see that it's never gonna come to the West. It's just so logistically, it just doesn't make sense. It's just nightmare, right? We say that, and like some crazy other stuff's gonna happen. So we got Danganronpa V3. So this is the third Danganronpa game. Technically it's the fourth, but this Ultra Despair Girls was like a 2.5 or 1.5 or whatever. I'm not up to date with Danganronpa, so my enthusiasm is both genuinely like, oh, this is cool, but like also I'm not up to date, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Maybe I should finish off the series once I get into this V3. So trailer looks cool, looks really crisp, looks really clean, looks very Danganronpa. So, you know, if you're a big fan of that, it's coming in 2017 in January. So, you know, broke the February rule. Nier Automata. The trailer that they showed for this conference is very story driven, and I haven't played Nier, so I can't really say much about this because I don't know much about Nier. So that story doesn't resonate with me. Apparently, it seems to be really taking place as a sequel to Nier, and Platinum Games just dumped a trailer, like Square Enix dumped a trailer, and it's just very cryptic, lots of numbers. What do numbers mean? And a lot of like imagery of like characters and stuff like that, which I'm sure like I would not know, but people would know. So, well, cool for Nier fans. It's coming out February 23rd, so another game in February. Woo, okay, cool. I already talked about Final Fantasy 15. Vita's getting new colors. Yeah, see what I mean by Vita's not dead quite yet, because they're gonna sell lots. That wasn't sarcasm, I swear. That was just. I'm getting really tired. It's very late, and I'm recording this as best I can. Vita's not dead in Japan. Keep in mind, Vita's not dead in Japan. It's selling, right? So good on them. We've also got Resident Evil. Oh my god, Resident Evil. Okay, let me get this straight. Let me be very clear. Resident Evil 7's reveal. I've never been so confused in my life. Actually confused. So the trailer starts. RE1 with the iconic zombie turning his head. RE2, RE3, RE4, RE5, RE6, then RE7, and you're like, oh, what is it? It's gonna be like RE2 remake? It's gonna be more RE7? Larkincell. Music video. Welcome to Larkon City. Do you see how confused I am? Yeah, because, yeah, it's confusing, isn't it? Hands in the air. What is this? Apparently it's a concert. Apparently it's a music video that they're doing. Apparently the RE7 team's making a music video for Larkincell, and their characters in it, and they've remodeled them in VR. What the hell? No words. Don't understand. So there was a few other stuff that got announced as well. We got a new Hot Shots Golf game, which looks really cool. It looks really fun, actually. So, you know, sometimes there's games that just make you like feel just chill, relaxed, play with friends. I feel like that Hot Shots game is getting there. You got like, you can see other people's putting at the same time. You can go fishing. You can ride your cart thing to your board. So cool. So character customization, all that stuff. I think it's really exciting. So what else is there? So there was a few things that really dived into with VR, right? I'm talking VR, because VR's coming out real soon. So Sony have to sell VRs, right? It can't just be about the games. There has to be other utility for the VR to justify the price. And I think this conference really illustrated a lot of that tech. And the first one was VR concerts. VR concerts and VR karaoke room. Joy Sound. Joy Sound's like it's a karaoke subscription model thing for Japan. And you can get it on your PS4 here if you really want to, but you must be like a big karaoke aficionado because you have to pay a monthly subscription, I think. And that's coming to VR. So essentially you put the VR goggles on. Just cover my eyes. VR goggles are on, and essentially the whole room opens up, and it's a karaoke studio, and then a karaoke room. You know, like typical karaoke rooms that you get, like you sing with your friends and stuff. And then it opens up, and it's a concert. So VR concerts are a thing. I think it's really exciting. So if you have a good pair of headphones, or use the VR ones, the ones that are on VR, and then listening to just cool, like an immersive experience, like 360 view of VR. I think that's exciting. I think that's super interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. Another thing they introduced was Anywhere VR. And the only way I can describe Anywhere VR is if you've played a game from David Cage, PS3, PS4 exclusive, Heavy Rain. Now, you're going to scoff at me. Oh, what are you talking about Heavy Rain for? Well, there is one thing in Heavy Rain that they did that was really interesting, and it was the God, I can't remember the FBI guy's name. I can't remember. The life of me. But essentially, he's the dude with the sunglasses that's VR, right? It's like VR, like a portable VR, like actual high-tech sort of thing. And he's got like a glove that can interact with like digital objects and stuff like that. And he goes into his office, and his office is a shit, right? I'd feel depressed working in it, honestly. And he sits down, puts on his glasses, activates an orb that has like a mountain stream or waterfall, right? Grabs it, slams it in the ground, and the entire landscape within his VR goggles, VR glasses, right? Just turns, and the entire environment is a mountain range with a waterfall. And he can look around, and that's his workspace now. That's exactly what this is. Anywhere VR is essentially for people who are chilling on the couch and just want to look at a piece of scenery, highly rendered, detailed, not even highly maybe rendered, probably like actual video file or something like that. That's so you can actually look around. And there's one, like, it's essentially that, like, so you can have different sort of environments that you can switch in between through, and you can relax on your couch and chill and just look at it. So here's the first thing about the video that actually got to me. The lady that's demonstrating pulls out her phone. She's still wearing the goggles, by the way. She pulls out her phone, and she's like scrolling on it. And at that very moment, I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Lady, what are you doing? You're wearing your VR goggles and you're using your phone? Lady, you can't see that shit. What are you doing? Then it skips into the actual feed of the thing, and what you see is that the phone is connected to the PS4 and displaying what's on the phone inside the VR headset. So you can enjoy scrolling through Facebook while wearing your VR goggles. That's genius! Didn't even think of that. Like, I didn't even think of that. Like, I thought, like, you'd think, oh, you're probably saying, why not just have the VR have the Facebook on, like, in the VR goggles without using your phone? Well, then how are you going to interact with it very comfortably? If you have your phone, you can automatically sort of sense it because you use your phone every day, so it's like familiar to you. So that's really smart. I didn't even think of it that way. It solves the problem, kind of. I guess it solves a problem, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. So Anywhere VR, I'm looking forward to. I want to, like, you know, maybe I want to check out Reddit while I'm like I'm looking at a mountain range or something. And the expansion of this application, like, these are all applications, and like this is why I think Sony nailed it out of the park, because they're just showing off stuff that's not even gaming related, it's social related. So props to Sony, really props to Sony. They did really well. Like I was expecting jank, and what I got was something that was actually really interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's probably it for this video, but if I have time, I'll go into each one and talk about in depth what I feel about it. But this is just a couple hours afterwards and stuff that's interesting. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And You know, it's good to be back. It's good to be back to make videos again, and it's been a while, so have a good day. Core 51 out. Take care.